Lance, you were talking about special effects there, and I remember when we were doing our podcast, you had a really great story about how you played a pivotal role in the evolution of blue screen. I was wondering if you would like to tell that story again, because it was on The Last Starfighter.
It is a story, but my claim, it is a true story. But my claim as it being the first or the pivotal, I'm not sure is correct, but it is a true story.
Absolutely.
It's a great story, though.
Pivotal.
And I can't remember. I remember it was the set that we were doing the Death Blossom thing. And I remember at one point at the beginning of the piece, they told me at the beginning of the show, the costumer kept showing up with, here, I got some orange corduroys for you. And there's a green and yellow, striped shirt. And I was like, really? I mean, I think Alex would just wear like a work shirt and blue jeans and boots, and don't you think? And, oh, yeah, you can't wear blue. You can't wear blue, really? Yeah, you can't wear blue because they have blue screen, and there's things that we're doing blue screen, and that's what they do. If you do blue screen, your whatever you're wearing becomes the effect. And I was like, huh, okay. And I talked to the director, Nick, can I wear blue jeans? Yeah, you can wear blue jeans. So we somehow shot around things. I don't know what they did. I don't know how they did it, but it was just like, yeah, that seems totally nice. So I wore blue jeans. I wore a blue shirt. And then all of a sudden, at one point, it got to where something I was carrying or something that I had was not going to work, and we actually had a blue screen, and we were stuck. Continuity-wise, we were stuck with whatever I was carrying or whatever, time. You know what I mean? They can't. You should have seen 4 weeks ago, and then you got to do the scene that comes right after that, and it has to match something. So, anyways, they were doing this blue screen, and they were like, well, what are we going to do? I said, I don't know. We're stuck, and I quoted the how many producers does it take to screw in a light bulb? He says, does it have to be a light bulb? And so I said, does it have to be blue? And I said, because it's, everybody wears blue. It seems like a foolish thing to do. Why not pick a color that hardly anybody wears? Chartreuse or something like neon chartreuse. Nobody wears it. Ironically, they wear it. And it was just, that's sort of an offhanded remark. And this lighting guy, he's sitting there, he's, bolting the lights to the floor or something. He just looks up and goes, we can just change the gel, and we can put a different sight. We can put a different projection, because that's what they were using as the screen at the time was a projection, like just a big color. They didn't have a fabric or anything. They just used cyc with green gels or blue gels at the time. And so the guy just said, yeah, why don't we just do it? All the big guys are all clustering, and they're all having this huddle, and then why don't we do this? And the guy's like, yeah, we'll just pick out a different color to dial out. There's, we could use orange, we could use red, we could use whatever color you want. Just change it. It doesn't always have to be blue. So I go, good, problem solved. So they changed it, and they made it green, and they keyed out the green for the show. And I've never thought another thing about it. 20 years later, I'm doing the same goofy Disney movie that I did down in Australia. And I show up to the set, and I show up kind of early. Like, this wasn't for my scene. This was for a scene before me. And I showed up like half an hour early, and I noticed there's this giant green screen behind. This is in 2000. It's a giant green screen behind him. And I turned to the director and I say, how long have they been using green screen? And he goes, since like the mid 80s, I think. Really? Because I hadn't done an effects movie since. Right. Well, not a computer effects movie. I did Jaws, of course. But so I was like, that's weird. And in my mind, I'm thinking, did I invent green screen? So